What's up everyone, my name is Alpha and today we're back with another Pokemon challenge video. Today we're on Pokemon X and today's challenge we cannot beat Pokemon X Hardcore Nuzlocke using only Ash's shiny Pokemon. Now I've actually done this challenge in the past, but I want to actually go into the role of Ash Ketchum and make it even harder for myself because his team is actually pretty decent in his KALOS team, so I can easily beat Pokemon X using just Hawlucha. I could easily beat Pokemon X using only Hawlucha obviously, so I decided to make this challenge a lot harder. We have to stick with the 6 Pokemon he has on his KALOS team, and we have to use the movesets he has for each Pokemon. So this, I thought wouldn't be too bad because they're great Pokemon. He has a great team, but he has the worst movesets I've ever seen in a player. I didn't know how bad they were. Like, he has cut on his Greninja. This is going to be difficult. Also, I'm going to implement the Hardcore Nuzlocke rules on screen, as you can see. On top of that, each of my Pokemon that I catch in this video will be nicknamed after you guys in the comments. So thank you so much for leaving a comment in my previous challenge video. If you guys want to be nicknamed after a future Pokemon in my future challenge video, just drop in the comments and hopefully I'll pick yours. And also, while you're down here, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me that you guys support my channel. Let's get into the challenge video. I'm not excited to do. So to begin off, Ash does have a Greninja, which is one of my favorite starter Pokemon. It's such a cool starter to begin with, and you have the shiny form. It's just amazing. I just can't believe it. We have to go through a lot of cutscene, talking with all the friends possible, and then finally getting my starter and then resetting once it's not shiny. But eventually we're gonna work through that and get ourselves a shiny Froakie, which looks pretty cool on its own, but wait until we fully evolve it. So unfortunately though, I'm gonna start off the first battle without the movesets, but after this first battle I'm gonna have Greninja's moveset. I can pick in between what moves he has on his final Pokemon. He does have Water Pulse. I didn't mention this, but he does have Water Pulse on his Froakie and Frogadier, so I decided to transfer that over. So if you see Water Pulse, it's because he had Water Pulse as a Frogadier. His moveset's garbage, and I want to avoid using Double Team because evasion is not that fun, so I'm not going to use Double Team, and I'm going to get rid of it once I get Water Shuriken. From there, we're going to head into the very first route of the game, where we're also going to get our next Pokemon. Our next Pokemon that's available to us on Ash's team is going to be a Fletchling. Now, his team is amazing. I just can't believe this. This is his team in KALOS, and he lost in the Pokemon League. I was actually upset when he lost when I was watching the anime. He lost with this team. Is crazy. Our next Pokemon is going to be a shiny Fletchling, which we're going to add to our team, and we're not going to give it Brave Bird just yet because that might be too broken. We're going to give it Brave Bird when it actually evolves, so just to even it out, just to make it fair. And from there we're gonna head into the very first forest in the game, and in the forest, just like Viridian Forest in Kanto, there is a Pikachu for us to catch, which is gonna be Ash's ace Pokemon, and we're gonna have to go and search out for another shiny Pokemon. So we're gonna shiny hunt a lot in the first intro part of the game before the first gym. So we're gonna go out and find ourselves a shiny Pikachu. Unfortunately, it's a female one. You can tell by the tail, which I mean, isn't, you know, I don't care. I don't care what gender it is, but there's some people that can say this is not really Ash's team because it's a female Pikachu now. It doesn't matter. Ash's Pokemon aren't even shiny, so your point is invalid. Anyways, tension over. We're going to go into the first gym of the game, and we're going to start the battle off against Viola using my Pikachu. Now, I want to use Pikachu as much as I want because I know Pikachu is going to get power crept later on, and unfortunately it does. I also eventually want to go back and get the light bulb for Pikachu just so it's a little stronger, but I'm a little lazy right now, so I decided to just face off against the first gym and one-shot down her Surskit super easily. Her next Pokemon is going to be a Vivillon, which I two-shot. I also had Thunderbolt, so super easy. I still don't understand. If you guys ever watched the anime, Ash actually lost to a beginner Pokemon, which at that point went through 5 different regions, right? And he lost against a Snivy. I don't know if I ever told anyone this, but that's the reason why I stopped watching Pokemon for a long time. I was a huge Pokemon fan. I was a huge Pokemon anime watcher until he lost to the Snivy, and then I just quit watching until KALOS came up as the next anime. I completely skipped Gen 5, which is unfortunate because I really love Gen 5 games. But another tangent over, we're going to head into Route 10, I believe. In Route 10, there's another Pokemon for us to catch, which is going to be a Hawlucha. Hawlucha is a really strong fighting and flying type Pokemon in the game, and it can pretty much solo the entire game by itself with the right moveset, but as you see, the moveset on screen is not the greatest for Hawlucha. 3 fighting moves and a bug move. At least we get the bug move. This bug move is going to very much carry us, as well as high jump kick, but the other moves can just be useless, I'll be honest. We're going to find ourselves a very amazing looking Hawlucha. I always forget about how cool Hawlucha's shiny is until I find them again. We're able to catch ourselves a shiny Hawlucha and add it to our team. with 3 fighting moves. Those 3 fighting moves will actually come in handy as we start the battle off against the second gym leader in the game. We're going to face off against Grant next. Grant is the rock type gym leader in the game, and we're going to start the battle off against him using my Halucha to karate chop into Zamora and one-shot it. Super simple. His next Pokemon is going to be a Tyrant, which I don't one-shot it with a flying press because I forgot flying press is also flying and fighting type move, but I'll 2-shot the Tyrant and knock him out super easily. And that will do it for Grant as we get our second gym badge of the game, move on and face off against a rival. I'm not too sure why I'm showing this, but we destroy her super easily. From there, we're going to face off against the third gym leader in the game. We're going to face off against Karina. Karina is going to be the fighting type gym leader, ironically. I didn't add Halucha's image on the far right. I just forgot to. That's just my bad. I'm sorry. Halucha is on my team, I promise you. But we're going to start the battle off against Karina using my Fletchinder, evolved form of Fletchling. It's able to get a burn on the Mienfoo, which is, I completely forgot it got Flame Body as an ability, I'll be honest. But I'm able to knock out the Mienfoo. Her next Pokemon is going to be a Machoke, which I'm not able to knock out with just Peck. So I'm going to switch out into my Frogadier. Frogadier is able to Water Pulse continuously to knock out the Machoke. And we're actually able to get through this Machoke, which is kind of scary on my team. It almost knocked me out, but luckily enough, he puts me in torrent range and I'm able to knock out the Machoke. Her final Pokemon will be a Halucha, which is kind of scary because my team ain't really up to the match for this. But I'm able to go out into my Pikachu as she only uses Flying Press against me. So I'm able to survive and attack easily. Go for a Thunderbolt. He hits me with a Power Up Punch. So now I got to switch out. I would have switched out, but she got static. So that means I'm faster than her. And I got Outspeed Thunderbolt to knock out the Halucha. And we end up beating Karina. It's kind of sad that my Flying type Pokemon is not that good. So I decided to go out into the next gym area and get the Sky Plate for him. And now he has a boosted up Peck, which is great, I guess. I don't know. Peck is not that great of a move. It's going to be on my Fletchinder for the rest of the game. As we face off against the fourth gym leader in the game, we're going to face off against Ramos next. Ramos is the grass type gym leader in the game. And we're going to start the battle off against him using my Fletchinder. This thing is not it. I'm going to start off using Flame Charge against him. And it'll actually end up 2-shotting the Jumpluff at the very least, so that's pretty nice. He then sends out his Go-Go, which I always forget if he has Bodos or Rock Tomb, so I didn't want to risk it, so I want to switch out into my Halucha, which takes a huge takedown, but I'm able to access it twice into him and knock him out, which is free. And then his final Pokemon will be a Weeping Bell, which I one-shot, I don't one-shot, but I 2-shot with X-Scissor, and we end up beating Ramos super easily, because this game decides to be super easy for now. With only 3 Pokemon. Our Fletchinder actually evolves into a Talonflame after this, which is super nice. And the level cap jumps to level 37, which poses a problem because there's a lot more trainer battles after this, and you have to manage your XP a lot better. So we can't go over the level cap. We could get to the level cap and then go over it when we're in the gym fight, but for now we can't actually go over it or get near it. Because if we do, our Pokemon is going to be ineligible to be used in the next gym. So we have to be careful of fighting all the trainers and turning off our XP share. But in the process of this, we're able to evolve our Frogadier into this amazing Greninja. This is just amazing shiny. Ash has some great Pokemon and some great shiny. Talonflame is kind of whack in shiny form, but Greninja, amazing. Halucha, amazing. From there, we're going to face up against the 5th gym leader in the game. We're going to face up against Clement, and I forgot how strong he is against my team. 3 of my Pokemon are very weak to him, and I have a Pikachu, so all my Pokemon are weak to him. So we're going to start the battle off against his Amoga using my Greninja. I'm trying to see. I have a Sea Instance on. I have a Quiet Nature, which is special attack boosted. So I thought I could one-shot the Amoga. I am unable to one-shot the Amoga as it's going to Volt Switch into his Magneton. And I have no answers for this because I know it's going to go for Thunderbolt. I cannot lose my Greninja here. So I go out to my Pikachu. And Pikachu is able to break his 30 at the very least. I want to see if I can push it. Maybe I can survive like another one, then switch out. It goes for Electric Terrain, which I do a lot of damage with. He ends up doing a lot of damage to me as well and knocking on my Pikachu. And we lose a Pokemon already. That's not good. But I go out to my Halucha. At the very least, I am able to Karate Chop and knock him out. I was very scared that I was not going to knock him out, but luckily enough, I do knock out the Magneton. And then a High Jump Kick hits the Heliolisk. And I'm able to one-shot it and knock him out. And we are barely able to just get away from this. His last Pokemon is going to be an Amoga, which I stay in. I go for a High Jump Kick. I get static. And I didn't want to stay in. If I miss a High Jump Kick and he hits me with a Volt Switch, I am dead. So I don't want to risk it. I should not risk it right here. So I decided to... I stayed in. I don't know why. I went for Karate Chop of all things. And then I decided to switch out into my Talonflame. I think this is so my Talonflame doesn't take any damage. So that's a kind of a big IQ move. I go for a Flame Charge against him. He goes for a Volt Switch. He does a lot of damage, but I'm pretty sure I could 3-shot him as I am in range. He goes for an Air Release for some reason and gets himself burned. And we're able to beat down Clement. Luckily, he doesn't have any Hyper Potions left. And we end up getting Static at the end of the battle, but it doesn't matter. We end up beating Clement, get the 5th gym badge, but we put a death on a death counter in that battle, so it kind of sucks. So from there, we could finally go out into Route 14 and get a new team member. Our next team member is going to be a Gumi, which is considered one of Ash's strongest Pokemon, I believe, because it has a very high win rate. I think it lost like once or twice in the entire anime, which we're able to find ourselves a shiny Gumi in the wild and add it to our team, and hopefully it will actually do as well as it did in the anime. And surprisingly, his moveset is pretty nice. It has Dragon Pulse, Dragon Breath, Ice Beam, and we're going to add Rain Dance to him. So it's pretty nice considering is Ash's moveset. From there, we're going to face off against Valerie's gym next. Valerie is going to be the fairy type gym leader. And we're going to start the battle off against her using my Greninja. I know it's dark type, but it's actually pretty strong against the Mawile, which isn't saying much because we 2-shot him using Water Pulse. And we're able to knock out the Mawile pretty easily. From there, she's going to switch out into her Mr. Mime, which I stayed in for some reason and take a Dazzling Gleam, which almost one-shot me. If it critted, it might have actually killed me. So that was an awful play. So I decided to switch out into my Talonflame, which will take any hits pretty easily. I am able to Steel Wing and knock out the Mr. Mime, and her final Pokemon will be a Sylveon. I go for a Steel Wing, and you know what? Ash is a genius. Steel Wing on Talonflame is a miracle. We actually knocked out Valerie pretty easily, as you see, and we get our 6th gym badge in the game. Super easy. You know what? We take it. We take back all the criticism. Even though it has Peck on the Talonflame, he has Steel Wing for the Fairy type. Such a smart move by Ash Ketchum. From there, we're going to face off against the 7th gym leader in the game. We're going to face off against Olympia next. Olympia is the Psychic type gym leader, and we're going to start the battle off against her using my Greninja. Now, Greninja does not have a dark move at all, so we're just going to stay here and Water Pulse down to Sigilyph. This is just awful. She sets up a Light Screen as well, which is unfortunate because that means it's going to be harder to beat down. Luckily enough, Water Shuriken's actually a physical move for some reason. Greninja's main attack is a physical move, so Water Shuriken will actually knock out the Sigilyph. They fixed it later, but I mean, later is too late. From there, I'm going to stay in against the Slowking to do 2 damage with Water Pulse. I'm not too sure what I'm doing, but I go out to my Sliggoo. Sliggoo also gets yawned, so I went out into my Hawlucha. Hawlucha is able to get some chip damage against Slowking, but it's unable to do anything else because it's put to sleep. I'm trying to get a paralysis on him, and looking enough, it worked on a 2nd hit, so I can switch out into my Talonflame, and Talonflame's able to Brave Bird into him. Take a Psychic though, that's tough. But Brave Bird will knock out the Slowking, and then from there I can switch into my Greninja against the Meowstic. I think it has Thunderbolt, so I'm not too sure about this play, but I'm able to knock him out in 2 shots with a Water Pulse, and I end up beating Olympia. And Water Pulse was such an ingenious idea, I'm just saying. Frogadier does have it, I'm just saying, I'm not cheating. Frogadier had it in the anime, I promise you that. I watched the anime. From there, the level cap raised, so we're able to evolve our Sliggoo into a Goodra, and Goodra looks so cool. From there, we're going to go out and face off against Team Flare, which we destroyed super easily. As you see, we beat down Xerox. Then we're going to face off against Xerneas and capture it just for the story plot. We're going to face off against Lysander next, and Lysander, unfortunately, since my party was open, Xerneas is going to be the first Pokemon, so just disregard this for a second. I'm going to switch out. I'm going to take some unnecessary damage on my Talonflame. The Mienshao goes for a Swords Dance. Is that illegally evolve? I thought Mienshao evolves later on, not 49. Hold on, that's an illegal Mienshao, I swear. But anyways, we're going to knock out the Mienshao with Brave Bird, and then his next Pokemon is going to be a Pyroar. I decided to switch out into my Greninja to Water Pulse into him to knock him out, which I think is a safe play. His next Pokemon is going to be a Honchkrow, which I am able to Water Pulse. He knocks me low with Air Release, so I decided to switch out into my Hawlucha to take an Air Release, which bad idea, but I'm going to go for a Flying Press to knock out the Honchkrow, and I'm very banking on this to hit and also knock out the Gyarados because I have no way else to knock him out. So I'm going to start off high jump kicking into the Mega Gyarados. It does not knock him out, but I live in Aqua Tail, and I still outspeed, so I'm gonna go for a Flying Press and knock out the Gyarados. So we're gonna take that. It worked out. It didn't really work out in calculations, but it worked out at the end as we end up beating Lysander, and we can move out into Terminus Cave. Terminus Cave is gonna be the site of our final Pokemon of our team. In this, it's gonna be the worst thing possible. We're gonna have to search out for like a drop encounter for a shiny Norbat, which takes a very long time because you have to go back and forth until you get an encounter. But lucky enough, it's only a few Pokemon that can be encountered from the drop encounters anyways, and from there we're able to catch ourselves a Norbat and then face off against our friends at the bridge. Now this bridge fight, isn't too difficult at all. We're gonna beat down our friends super easily, and from there we're gonna face off against Wolfric. Wolfric's gonna be the 8th gym leader in the game, and we're gonna start the battle off against him using my Hawlucha. Now Hawlucha, again, I keep saying he's the strongest Pokemon in the world because we're at the level cap and we're able to high jump kick into his Abomasnow and knock him out. I think this is a bit overkill. I could have just went for Flying Press. Thinking back to it, from there I'm gonna also high jump kick into the Cragno because I'm a madman. From there, he's going to switch out into his Avalok, and then I'm going to switch out to my Greninja, and Greninja is going to Water Pulse to shut down the Avalok, even taking a very hefty Avalanche Stone. Could have knocked me out if I was at lower HP, but I'm able to Water Pulse and knock out the Avalok super easily, and we get our 8th gym badge in the game. From there, we're going to head into Victory Road, which isn't too hard at all. We have a bunch of repels, and we don't actually need a trade after this Victory Road run because our Pokemon actually level up pretty fast, pretty close to the level cap. And from there, we're going to face off against the Elite Four themselves. So we're going to head into the Pokemon League and then face off against Malva. Malva is the first Elite Four member I chose to face off against because I know she's super easy. So we're going to start the battle off against her using my Goodra to set up Rain Dance for my Greninja. And then I'm going to swap into my Greninja to knock everything out. So we're going to Water Pulse into the Pyroar to knock him out super easily. Her next Pokemon is going to be a Talonflame, which hits me with a Brave Bird, which I didn't know it was faster than me. I should have went for a Water Shuriken, but I knock out the Talonflame and knock out the Torkoal. Her last Pokemon is going to be a Chandelure, which I stay in and Water Pulse. Unfortunately, doesn't knock her out in one shot because of that Pyroar at the beginning of the fight, but I am going to swap in between my Goodra and also my Greninja, eventually going into my Greninja to knock out the Chandelure, and we're able to beat down Malva super easily. From there, we're going to face off against Steelberg next. Steelberg's going to be the Water type Elite Four member, and the reason why I battle him second is because he's probably going to be the strongest one, so I need all the Pokemon possible. I just beat Malva because she was super easy, and I know I wasn't going to lose any Pokemon. We're going to start the battle off against his Clawitzer using my Goodra to Dragon Pulse spam into him. Lucky enough, we do more damage than him, and we end up beating down his Lobster. His next Pokemon is going to be a Starmie. I know it's not going to be able to knock me out at anything, so I went for a Dragon Pulse. It almost one-shots the Starmie, but unfortunately it does survive, and I'm forced to switch out because I don't want to lose my Goodra to this. It doesn't have Ice Beam for some reason, so I switched out into my Hawlucha to X-Scissor to knock him out. Ended up working out pretty well. His next Pokemon is going to be a Gyarados, which I did not expect. I thought he was going to go for his Barbarica, but he went for his Gyarados, so I had to switch out into my Norvern, and Norvern's unlucky, gonna be the first victim because I go for a Boom Burst, hoping for a crit or something. He goes for an Ice Fang. Normally he goes for 2 Dragon Dances, but luckily enough he didn't because he would have probably swept me. But unfortunately my Norvern goes down, and I go out to my Talonflame. Talonflame outspeeds him at the very least. Brave Bird would knock out the Gyarados at the very least, and his final Pokemon will be a Barbarico, which I don't have too many options to go into. I first go into my Greninja to take the Stone Edge, and then I switched out into my Hawlucha to take the Cross Chop. And from there, I was just hoping High Jump Kick knocks him out. And lucky enough, High Jump Kick lands and also knocks out the Barbarico. Super easy for us as we beat down Steelberg and we face off against the next Elite Four member. We're going to face off against Drasna next. Drasna is going to be the Dragon type Elite Four member of the game. And we're going to start the battle off against her using my Talonflame to Brave Bird into the Dragalge and take a Surf. Surprisingly, Talonflame can take a Surf. Brave Bird to knock him out, which is super nice. I get Poison Pointed, but we don't have to worry. I just need Talonflame to knock out that Dragalge. And from there, I can switch out into my Goodra against him to surprisingly outspeed and Ice Beam the Altario in one shot. Her next Pokemon is going to be a Norvern, which knocks me down and activates my Citrus Berry, which is kind of annoying. It kind of needed to happen, so I'm able to Ice Beam knock out the Norvern. And from there, because of the Citrus Berry, I am able to live a Dragon Tail from the Druddigon, do a lot of damage, and then be forced to switch out into my Hawlucha, which will Flying Press and knock out the Druddigon for us, as we're able to beat down Drasna, and we cleared through the next Elite Four member. One left. We face off against Wingstrom next as the final Elite Four member before the champion. We'll start the battle off against Wingstrom using my Talonflame to Flame Charge into the Klefki. Unfortunately, it went for Torrent. So I gotta go for Steel Wing as it's gonna go for Dazzling Gleams, and now I can finally go for a Flame Charge and then Steel Wing, and eventually I am able to knock out the Klefki. I'm surprised it didn't set up spikes, but we're able to knock him out. His next Pokemon is going to be a Probopass, which I go out to my Hawlucha to take a Power Gem, which wasn't nice. He also has Discharge, which I forgot about, so he could have actually knocked out my Hawlucha, but he got a crit and still didn't knock me out, so I take it back. From there, I'm able to Karate Chop twice to knock out the Probopass, and then switch out to my Talonflame to Flame Charge and one-shot the Scizor, which is surprising. His final Pokemon is going to be an Aegislash, which I'm able to Flame Charge and take a Shadow Cloud, which is pretty hefty. Jeez, there's a lot of crits going on. And from there, I know he does not have Shadow Sneak, for sure. So I didn't want to switch out. If he went for a King Shield, I just had to switch out in the following turn. but I knew since my HP was low, he's gonna try to thirst to kill. So I decided to go for a flame charge, and since he is in sword mode, I am able to flame charge and knock him out, and we end up beating Wingstrom. Now we can face off against the champion. The champion of the game is going to be Diantha, and it's kind of difficult, not gonna lie, so we got to be careful. We're going to face off against her Hawlucha using my Talonflame to Brave Bird immediately to knock him out in one shot. Super simple. Okay, get to business. Her next movement is going to be a Tyrantrum, which I switched out into my Hawlucha. Take a head smash. Not well, granted. It did not take him pretty well. Due to the recoil damage that a critical head smash did, I'm pretty sure Karate Chop will knock him out, so I take the risk. Karate Chop will knock him out. Her next moment is going to be an Auroras, which I go for a high jump kick and actually knocks him out in one shot. I'm more surprised that it landed. Then I go for a high jump kick just to do some chip damage against the Goodra. It of course misses on a very last turn that Hawlucha was going to stay alive, so it ended up didn't mattering. I mean, it was just chip damage, but I'm going to switch out into my Goodra to Dragon Pulse into the Goodra. It gets a crit against me as well, but I am able to Dragon Pulse, knock him out. It's annoying that she gets another crit, but her next moment is going to be a Gourgeist, which I'm able to Ice Beam and knock him out super easily. Her final Pokemon is going to be a Mega Gardevoir, which I can't switch out. I mean, I take it back. I could have switched out, but it's going to go for a Moonblast and knock out my poor Goodra. And I switch out into my Talonflame, which has Steel Wing, like I said earlier, and Steel Wing comes in clutch, ends up knocking out the Gardevoir from that HP, and we end up beating Diantha. We actually save the run. I thought I was going to be lost. I thought I was going to lose on Diantha because, I don't know, because the movesets were just that bad. I didn't even get to use Greninja in the final battle, but we end up beating the challenge, and we end up beating Pokemon X Hardcore Nuzlocke using only Ash's shiny Pokemon, which ends up being decently hard. I'm not gonna lie, the Pikachu going down really set a tone that I could lose any of the Pokemon just because my movesets were garbage. But the Pokemon themselves carried themselves pretty well, as Hawlucha, Goodra, Greninja, Talonflame, and Northern didn't really do too much, and Pikachu didn't do too much either. But those 4 Pokemon really carried themselves really well in this challenge video. Pretty fun challenge, I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, thank you so much for watching all the way today. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel, it means a lot to me. And my name is Ben Alpha. Hope you guys all had a great day and enjoy the weekend upload. Yeah, I'm out. Peace.